Hey, Bottom, I'm on the road, so I'm recording from my hotel room. I'm in between going to all these different podcasts with these incredible creators. I'm having so much fun to promote my comedy special. We've now got a calendar link for you to put it into your calendar. I can also text you if you go and get on my text alert on my website. All of this stuff is also available on my social media, my Instagram, yada, yada, yada. I'm so excited about it, and I'm kind of overworked. So I'm just taking this without video right now, very raw in my hotel room on my phone. Yeah, I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So head over to my YouTube. It's going to drop on YouTube. Go subscribe. Turn on your notifications. We have the live viewing party that comes right before the debut we're going to have Elena. We're going to have Breh. We're going to have Maddie. We're going to have Mac and Jemmy. It's going to be really, really fun. And I'm nervous. I want it to go viral. So please. And then this week, we have my friend Kendall Farrell on the show. God, he's so funny. He's a Sunday school favorite. He talks about having a threesome and then immediately getting into a vigilante car chase with his Uber driver. And they are not unrelated. They come full circle. It's probably the best story I've heard on the podcast. I'm no joke, the best story that I've heard on the pod. So good. And he's hilarious. He's like a riff king. This episode is brought to you by Green Chef. Green Chef is my absolute favorite meal kit, okay? And it's my favorite because not only are all the meals amazing and they've got something for everyone, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, they've got a ton of different meals that you can mix and match just for you and maybe your partner or whoever else you're cooking with. But it's also sustainable. They offset their plastic and their carbon. It's just a good company to enjoy a meal from, and you can feel good about your choices. Go to greenchef.com/gay60 and use code gay60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/gay60 and use code gay60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. Hey, listener, this episode is brought to you by Calm. And if you know anything about me, I am a practicing meditator and I love the Calm app. Getting into meditation is great if you're anxious or you feel restless at night or just if you're not feeling yourself. I really recommend Calm as a great place to start with your meditation and to help with your stress. If you go to calm.com/gay, you'll get a special offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription, and new content is added every week. For listeners of the show, Calm is offering an exclusive offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/gay. Go to calm.com/gay for 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library. That's calm.com/gay.
I was in Austin. I was opening for Rachel Feinstein. So I do my show. I get an Uber back to the Airbnb. I hear like some sort of a kerfuffle up ahead, and I'm not really paying attention. The Uber driver is like, there was a hit and run. Should we chase him? I thought he was joking. So.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, yeah, let's get him. He was not joking. So my Uber driver fucking peels out, follows this guy for like a mile, pulls out a pistol.
There it is. You're an accomplice in murder.
I know.
Bro,
Sit on my face.
I saw it on Instagram. I didn't know it was for me.
You have to sit on my face.
Okay, ready to do the podcast.
The hover. The hover.
Yeah.
The rehearsed hovering.
For the listener at home who's not listening on the YouTube channel, who might have gotten that crappy audio, we made a sit on my face chair for Maddie. A lot of people were like, oh, that chair is not comfortable, the plastic chair. They've been saying that a while.
People were like concerned on my behalf.
Yeah, and Kate's behalf too.
Oh.
But really... I actually would argue that chair is quite comfortable.
Yeah, I don't mind that chair. It's nice.
But how do you feel about this chair?
Emotionally more uncomfortable.
Because it has a big...
No, it's kind of incredible. It's Ashley's
a big photo
face.
Of my face.
And it's also... It's not just, it's Ashley's face on stage. So it's not just that I'm sitting on your face. It's that you're doing stand up into my asshole.
Stand up into your asshole.
It's every time.
Well, a chair.
Every time I spread down.
Ashley's face.
Straight people spread wider than this. Spread wider.
Ashley's face doesn't have to be a comfortable chair for it to still be enjoyable to sit on.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I was going to say I can loosen up any butthole when I'm on stage, so it's the perfect photo for you to sit on. And if it makes you uncomfortable, Maddie, because some of our more thoughtful listeners are gonna be like, does Maddie give consent? But I also have
hilarious.
I have a replacement pillow.
Oh my God, it's
There's
so
another
funny.
one of my face if you'd like.
Do you really have that on hand?
Yeah, I do. I didn't even ask for that. The person, we had this great listener did this for us.
A listener did this?
Yeah, patron, I think.
I love the photo
my
that they
God.
chose.
I don't know if she wants us to shout her out, but she's awesome. And
That's
we have an
fucking hilarious.
insert of just the caning for the. Is that the correct name? Caning?
I love that your fans are so deeply lesbian that they're actually making wooden chairs.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
This was whittled.
I actually got this fucking chair on Facebook Marketplace for $75.
Oh shit.
This is like a $500 to $1,000 chair, so I'm pretty excited. But it didn't have a seat, and then I was like, oh, what should I put in here? And then someone DM'd me. I was like, many people DM'd me. I'm like, obviously a picture of your face, and that's how this chair was born.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, but for people who are listening are like, is Maddie uncomfortable? No, it's funny. It's hilarious.
Very funny.
It's very funny.
We need like a disclaimer for that chair that says sitting here implies consent.
All right, well,
You guys printed out some stuff for my gender vision board, which is incredible.
That's right.
There
Maddie's
is something very funny about being like, embrace your non-binary identity, but also we're
the
going
most
to give you
feminine
all
way
the...
possible. I'm gonna get clippings from my magazine.
That's so funny. I'm
I love you
vision
have
boarding
Tom
it.
Holland as Rihanna.
Pretty incredible.
That
It's
comes up all the time on this podcast.
I'm like fucking obsessed with it. There's a fish.
Well, the fish has meaning. We'll come back to the fish.
Okay. Well, do you want to explain these? Because
I will.
I'm seeing these images.
Well, yeah. Let's
the first
actually
time
do a
today.
comparison.
Ashley's limp wrist.
This is
We
This
love.
is Ashley's limp wrist. Ashley's limp wrist. What do we think this
So
is
funny.
for you? Because I picked this specifically for something.
Is it for the rabbit ears?
It's not for the rabbit ears,
Is it for?
but it's for
just
like
being
the
gay?
type of man, boy, girl in a boy in a girl way.
Boy in a girl way.
This is boy in a
That
girl way.
is absolutely boy in a girl way. Oh my God, thank you.
Okay, and then we, of course, Tom Holland as Rihanna.
Ugh,
Very important.
he was hot in that performance. It really did it for me.
It did.
Right?
Fully did it.
What
for
kind
me.
of guy are you into?
Like, I have like a thing for skinny guys, definitely.
We
for
might have
sure.
the same type.
Like, yeah, I love a twink. I love just, I like athletes. I have a really
That's
boring
right.
conventional
Yeah.
taste.
Were you into like the athlete guys in high school? I feel like
Yeah, I was for sure.
Like,
Yeah,
who would
I
be,
had
like-
like crushes on other. I was on the swim team, and I had crushes on like half of the team too.
Oh my God. You know who was the cutest swimmer is Tom Daly.
Yes, very into Tom Daly.
He's really
Tom
cute.
Daly.
perfectly my type.
And he's gay. This is how stupid it is to like have a crush on like a famous person. Is that I was like, I found
it's
it.
perfectly fine for you guys to have a crush on a famous person and maybe patronize their work on their patreons.com/WHGS or go to their shows or sign up for their text alert because their special is coming out on April 23rd. Get a text when it comes out. Subscribe to the YouTube. Turn on notifications.
Or fuck it, just Venmo Ashley $50.
I love you.
$50 and a face chair.
But when I was like in high school, I was like, he's so cute. And then I found out he was gay and I was like, rats,
That's
there
what
goes
I
my
thought.
chance. And it's like, there was not a chance. That was not like a deciding factor.
That is
That's
really
actually
funny
the least.
because people who are online will say like, "Oh, I do so much better when I'm single." Like my profile does like get
Yeah.
people are more engaged when I'm single,
Yeah.
and it does imply that people think they have a more of a chance with that. Your chance is equal. Like the being in a relationship, whether or not, I don't know, your celebrity crush is in a relationship is not affecting your ability to
Yeah.
woo them.
The fact that they
It's
are
a
a
net- it's
famous
like a team-
millionaire is
yeah.
why they won't fuck you. Like,
Yeah. Exactly. Well, then we have barbells. Do you know why we did this?
because I'm trying to get into weightlifting.
Yeah, you're getting into weightlifting. For your mask physique. This one you'll never get.
A plum? Is
Yeah.
that like an ass play joke?
You know what's
Kind
funny?
of.
My first thought was Timothy Chalamet in Call Me by Your Name, but that's
What?
not what it
You don't
is.
know what this is?
No, I know what it is now, but for a half a second I was like,
So this is from our Patreon
well, I guess I don't know what
episode.
a plum is because I thought it was a peach. So I'm
It's
stupid.
a plum.
Yeah, see, that's where I went wrong.
This is from our Patreon episode when you said you were into women of the plum.
That's how I described
When
it.
we were trying to respectfully describe women with a like maybe a curvy body or a nice fat ass. We were like trying to be respectful.
A woman of the plum.
A woman of the plum.
I think that's also a poem by Robert Frost.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great Patreon episode, so go check it out. And then the second barbell thing is this is a barbell fish, and I think Sydney just thought this was funny.
That's really funny. That's going at the top.
Yeah.
Comedy over everything.
Are those one of the fishes that can just transition at will if they're like bored?
No,
Some fish do that.
I know,
they
and that
change
is-
their sex organs based on supply and demand.
Why aren't we
That's so
talking
funny.
about
I know.
supply and demand? There are definitely some queer people who would like to be able to do that in the queer
Oh,
market.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love like a retractable.
You're a man. Retractable?
I hope that
Is
you
it
make
battery powered or do you have to plug it in?
I hope that you invent some sort of like rope and pulley system, like, and then like patent it.
Like an 1800s.
Patented wiener.
Yeah,
The wiener. So funny.
Well,
I'm gonna be having sex like the video of the guy on Twitter that's at that piano where it's like bonk, 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 and he's like pulling 17 different things. You know what I'm talking about?
no, but I
it's
can
like
envision it.
like a Rube Goldberg machine
what I
for
was
your
thinking,
pussy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're in the apartment. We're having gay sex. We're having gay sex with Kendall Farrell.
That's
this
true.
week. Yeah, give it up for
Ashley,
Kendall.
I told you I was having gay sex in confidence. That is a vicious rumor that has followed
my
me
God.
my whole life.
Wait, I'm not gonna make this your story unless you want it to be your story. But when we were on the road, you had gay sex on the road.
I did have gay sex. Yeah, it was kind of
You
bad
hooked up
form
with
actually.
that-
I fucked somebody from the club in Phoenix.
So it was this person who was a server.
He came on to me though. He was into it. So I feel like comfortable with it. Also, the feature has no power anyway.
No. There's no power for the feature. So
Exactly. So
me
we're on the
fucking
same
someone
level.
on the wait staff that could potentially be a little problematic.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they're going after you though, then it's a little bit different.
For
But-
sure. One time this mom hit on me after this like mom server in if you're listening. I
Surfer
can't-
mom, hot.
No, server.
Oh, server.
Equally hot as a surfer,
Yeah.
riding those tip waves. I don't know. Very strong.
It's balance.
Balance. Yeah,
Exceptional.
sure. Surfing some drinks over to your table.
Yeah.
I made that work and hilariously funny. So good that bit that I did. But she came up to me after one of my shows and was like, "You're the funniest comedian I've ever seen here," and like kind of like put her back against like the frame of the door. And I was like, well, I think her name was Tammy. And the only reason I'm saying this is because nothing happened between us. I would
Yeah.
never say anyone's name, and I'm not even sure that's her name. Probably not. But like
This is
Tammy,
devastating if she hears this. This is gonna
She
ruin
was
her whole week
so
if she finds
hot.
out.
You know what? Let's bleep the name of the city because Tammy will know. She wait staffed my show in a city.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're out there, and I think you're a mom, and I'm coming back, so please let me know. I don't know. And I was assuming she'd be back the next night because I was like going to slow play it and not make it like a. But then she wasn't back. She didn't work the next night.
Oh, it's such a
sad.
bummer.
But we're in the apartment. Oh, did you have a riff?
No.
Great. We're in the apartment. We're having gay sex with Kendall Farrell, comedian. You
True.
are one of the best comedians in the city and probably the
Ashley.
world, honestly. You're really just so
That's
talented.
so nice of you.
I have to be honest, I don't really know what else you're working on right now.
I'm on the road with you a lot and with Rachel Feinstein
That's
a
right. You
lot.
opened for Rachel Feinstein, which is huge.
And
Oh, that's so
yeah. I would love to do late night soon, and then hopefully record an album in the next couple of years.
So get on your Instagram and
Yeah, follow me at Kendall Farrell on Instagram or Twitter,
cool.
and I am on TikTok, but I don't really post much.
You should.
I finally got back into my account. I was locked out for a while. It's
What did
so
you
hard
do?
to get in once you're locked out. I just
really is.
signed in with another under a different email address accidentally, and it thought there was some sort of security issue.
Oh, so you weren't like banned from a joke or something?
No,
You just like signed in?
it was a sign-in issue.
if I'm locked out, it's because I accidentally played porn on my live stream. Did I tell you about that?
Wait, is that a real thing?
Oh
that
yeah,
happened?
that's
fucking
WHGS
No.
lore from like a long time ago. The panda porn. Guys, there's a lot of episodes there's 65-ish episodes that are not on YouTube. They're only on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen, because we weren't doing cameras back then. with this incredible co-host Gara Lonning, and go
Gara's
listen to
so
those.
funny.
Yeah, they're so funny. Go listen to those episodes. There's so many of them. If you finished all these, and they're video on the Patreon. They're still on video on the Patreon. But what happened was I learned about panda porn, which I thought
What is that? Like the animal?
Yeah. So pandas were bad at procreating. So what they did was they showed them other pandas procreating to turn them on.
Oh my God.
So that's, someone sent me a link while I was live streaming and learning about this. So that's what I thought I was going to open up. Panda porn is also a genre on Pornhub to raise money for panda conservation.
That's fucking awesome.
Where people dress up as pandas and have sex with each other.
It's so funny
And
because
that's what got me banned.
having sex with a panda is illegal, but both of those things are like, I guess that's fine. Like, it doesn't feel like we should be allowed to see that. You know what I mean?
Specifically
That's
is
so-
illegal. What is the wording behind the bestiality laws?
I think it's any
animal.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's funny that you can watch two pandas fuck, or you can watch
Two people
fuck dressed as pandas. It's really like circling the drain of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
are you after? You know what I mean?
I do love the idea of somebody who's so horny that they accidentally save a panda somehow. You ever been so horny that you conserved something?
Yeah, you contributed to
You saved
saving
nature?
the planet.
That
I
makes me
think
feel
lesbians are that horny. Like
That makes me-
specifically that type of horny.
That gives-
Conservation horny.
That gives me so much hope for the future that people could solve problems by just being extremely relentlessly horny.
See, I think it's the opposite. I think it's dystopian that we're having to make panda porn in order to save the planet.
Yeah, and then people are gonna like get in their head like you can't come because you squirt and you're like, oh, the sea levels are rising. It's just,
Because I think when you're at a point when you're raising money via strange content instead of just fixing the problem, fixing the problem would be like, let's stop deforestation and all that. But nah, we'll fuck each other. I guess the money's going to deforest. I don't actually even really know where the money's going.
I think we should solve more of the world's problems this way. Just go right to Pornhub. That's where they have all the power and all the money.
People have sex in an igloo to like battle climate change.
I know, yeah. Today I'll
Sex in
be
the snow.
sucking dick to save the cranes in Africa.
Well, let's get into the sex because I have a doozy. Listener, one of the best ways to support this podcast is to come see me live, okay? It's a really great way to just support the whole team and everything that we do here. So get on my text list or my email list. It's international, both of them. AshleyGavin.com. Go sign up, and I'll literally text you when I'm in your area. So you don't have to hear all these plugs. You can skip right by them. Don't even worry about your city. Just get on one of those two things, and I will let you know, okay? Because there's a lot of cities coming, and I just remaking this announcement over and over again. We all think it's annoying. You do. I do. Get on the text list, you piece of shit. I'm going to bury the lead in this one. I'm not going to tell you the outcome of this story, but I will tell you this.
A Shyamalan sort of tale.
I see queer people. I've been manifesting this for a long time.
Love
This is
it.
something that I've really wanted,
Love it.
that I've never gotten to do, and I achieved it over the weekend in Tampa.
Yes.
Not the ideal place, I will say. for
Not a lot of
sexual-
dreams coming true in Tampa.
Absolutely
but
not, but
you
mine.
made something happen.
Yeah, we made something happen.
Tampa's usually where dreams go to die.
Yeah,
but you're turning
I don't
things
even
around.
think dreams make it there.
There are no dreams in Tampa.
Look, I love it. Shout out. You know what? I don't even feel like I need to do this because so many people message me after this show being like, I'm sorry about Florida. So I don't think we have to apologize. I think the gay Floridians know what's going on.
yeah, they've got bigger issues right now. The queer community of Florida.
Absolutely.
Oh my
You're not allowed
God,
to say
yeah.
gay and shit and Ron DeSantis. But anyway.
Ron DeSantis, suck my fucking dick that I wish I had.
Suck the wiener.
I do love that Trump put out a statement saying that he's not going to call him Meatball Ron, which is just like chef's kiss. Like that is like Trump is such a like petty queen. Like he's such a sassy little.
Trump actually is sort of like a drag character.
He really is. He really is.
Like,
That's awesome.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where it would originate
Yeah.
out of other than himself. but kind
That's
of a
so funny.
queen in a way.
That's really funny.
The hair, the makeup, the suits are insanely tailored.
the fat
can-
ass.
The thick
The like
His big badass.
What's a drag queen thing that I could say? I know so little about drag culture.
I need you to sashay away. I can't do a
I
trap.
have more sachet than anybody. I have cachet. I have sachet. Okay. I don't know anything about
You
drag.
can tell like gay people hate Trump though because none of us have ever offered to help him fix his makeup. Like he's still not getting under his eyes at all. Like he has those like goggle marks on all the time. If there was even one gay person in his life, they'd be like, "Hold up, come on back here, Don." But instead, all of us are just standing by, like, looking good, buddy. Have fun in
The reason
the White House
knew you
today.
were gonna, the reason I knew you were gonna kill it is when we hung out in Phoenix. You just speak in joke form. Like that was a bit with a setup and a bunch of punchlines and tags. He just speaks in joke
No, that's fucking crazy.
all the time. That is the way he speaks.
I feel like that's what it is. It's like almost like learning a language. Like that's when people are like fluent in comedy. Like you'll meet like really big comics and you're like, oh, the like on stage, off stage is like that's just how your brain works. It's like seamless.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's
that's
true.
so fucking cool.
I mean, it sounds kind of exhausting to be around, actually. but-
No, I loved it. I love it. Anyway, so I did the show in Tampa. I get on stage. There's sort of a kerfuffle when I get on stage. And I'll be
Okay.
posting this on my TikTok at
Yeah.
some point. But in the front row was a kind of more masculine lesbian with hair about, I would say, 5 to 7 inches tall.
Was it a mohawk or it was just like
Okay.
up?
No, it was just gelled up, kind of against the laws of gravity. And it had like, it was like black and had like it was either blonde with a streak of black or black with a streak of blonde. And look, she looked like a cockatiel. I don't know what to tell you. That's what she looked like. I didn't expect to get such a big pop on that.
So funny because I know exactly who you're talking. Like that's not even
Right?
a unique haircut. I've
Yeah,
seen other
you've
people.
seen this person.
And
So-
I just didn't have the words to describe it until you said that.
So obviously she's in the front row. I'm like, you're a cockatiel. There's no joke to it. I just pointed at her and was like, bird. And and the audience lost it, and she was laughing. She was laughing. So I was like, okay, she's into it. She's the type of person that wanted to sit up front row and get called out. That is a type of person. These people exist. A lot of people don't want to be called out.
They walk amongst us.
Yeah, they walk amongst us, and we know because they have something horrible going on in their wardrobe. So, but then she changed her mind, got very angry at me, flipped me the bird, no pun intended, a few times. And then she started really like, her lips got really thin, and she like, her eyes, like, I'm trying to describe it for the listener. It was a look of.
Like she was about to grab a worm.
Like an eagle diving from the.
Her sharp talons.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, if we had been outside, I would have been physically afraid.
Jesus.
Like, for real. I thought she was going to attack me. She was cussing me out. No one could hear it because she was just sort of aggro. And I was like, look, there's security here. And that was sort of just my casual way of mentioning to security that I thought I was about to get murdered.
rushed.
Yeah. So I mentioned it, and eventually she left. I did a bunch of jokes about David Attenborough, describing her peacocking. It was great. God, there was so much more I could have done. But during that exchange, this girl in the on the other side of the front row called her Johnny Bravo.
No.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
And I looked over and I was like, oh, that's a sick riff. Like, shut up. And then she never shut up. I like jokingly told her that I hated her. And then I started, because all of this is bits.
Johnny Bravo is such a broadside. That is a real like body slam. Like that's so hard to recover from that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that.
It's so final. I mean, where do you go from there?
It's hard to heighten after. I think I said Big Bird at one point. But,
Oh shit. So clearly this is something that she's a little bit sensitive about.
yeah. But why get that? My question is,
Yeah.
How do you get that haircut?
Birds are
You've got-
beautiful. Cockatiels are beautiful, by the way.
Absolutely.
And Johnny Bravo also can get it.
Here's what yeah, exactly. And here's what she missed. I started making fun of my own appearance.
Yeah.
Like moments after no, she was still in the room. She was at the bar. I started making fun of myself.
Oh.
I said, I look like I'm 35, but I dress like a middle school fuckboy. Like I was doing all of my stuff making fun. Like you have to be able to make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think especially when you make bold choices, like it's fun
when you
to get,
make bold choices, you have to be there for the...
especially at a comedy show, just know
Yes.
that like that's kind of
Yeah.
what you're signing up for.
Yeah. So if you don't want that, like dress in a dark t-shirt, like don't, but you've like got long, a very specific haircut.
I do, yeah.
I'm sure people roast you with love because your hair is beautiful, but also it's,
No.
Tarzan, like you say in your joke.
The teens who lived, I used to live off the Knickerbocker stop, and there's these teens that play basketball all day there. And when I would go for a run, they would shout, "What's up, Tarzan?" Which is devastating, but I mean, I can't say I don't see it. I actually can't unsee it is the larger issue.
So anyway, she had that great riff. I started talking to her. I was like, "Oh, are you guys friends?" And they were like, "Oh, we're on these two femmes in the front row." They were like, "Oh, we're on a first date." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I didn't really think neither here nor there about it. They didn't come to the meet and greet line. But then after the show, I was super tired because I had a pain flare the night before. So I really didn't sleep at all. And I needed to edit my special, which is coming out on April 23rd, Sunday, April 23rd on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications or get a text on my text list. Thank you. So I needed to go home and go through the edit notes, which is really intense. You're basically editing it in text. You're like, at this minute, I want it to switch to take the show one. At this minute, it's like really intense. So I was like, I have to go home and do some of this now, or I need to get a really good night's sleep so that I can do it on the plane. So I'm sitting down, getting ready to edit. I open up my phone. Johnny Bravo femme messaged me her and her date's phone numbers, just being like, come hang out with us. I'm an ancient lesbian.
They're probably like waiting for you in an alley with like a baseball bat.
They're with Bird Lady. The whole thing we were in on it the whole time. We're going to kill you. I was joking that Bird Lady was like an ostrich, like ready to attack me. But so I was like, God, why don't I just read exactly what the exchange was? Because I actually think it's going to be helpful.
I'm so curious.
So here's the thing. I'm obviously in a hurry. I'm old. I don't like doing the dance. I just want to get straight to the point. Very hard to do when you don't know.
You and I are so the same about that. Like, I hate wasting time.
Yeah. And like I literally have hours. I do not have any time. Minutes, really. I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
I have to edit a special in the morning. So she says, "Hey, bitch, text me and meet up with us."
Wow, she's so charming.
Yes, very charming. This is the Johnny Bravo girl.
Like, is it Britney Spears?
Like, ooh,
And then she
what a sweet
Hey,
talker.
she does this emoji.
She knows the way to your heart.
And I said, "The first date couple?" She goes, "Yep, that's us." And I said, "Don't you guys need to do your date?"
Yeah.
And she said, and then I told her, I was like, "Listen, she said, yeah, come to the place that she was saying to come to." And I said, "Listen, I don't drink. I'm old. I have an early flight." She goes, "No worries." So then I was just like, fuck it. I said, "You got to tell me what your intentions are." LOL. Just to make it a little more.
To soften it.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to make a bottom top, and it's very difficult to make a top bottom.
True.
This is a bottom.
True.
She's not going to be straightforward with me. She went, that's what she wants to do. That's part of the game. But I am not going to. Here's the thing. I want this to be a threesome. That's what
yes.
That's what I want. That's what I've been trying to manifest. I'm like, 2 femmes, because that's the thing. 2 femmes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bring my main into a threesome that could fuck me up to see. So where am I going to find 2 femmes that they're attracted to each other, but they're also attracted to me? It's an impossible puzzle. Right? It's like a Rubik's Cube.
But God have giveth.
So I said, "What are your intentions, LOL?" "Just come hang with us. Have a fun night before your flight." Smiley face. Not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Not what I wanted.
So I was like, okay, it's done. Whatever.
Yeah.
I said, oh, I'm very tempted. You guys are very cute together. Have a fun night out there, is what I said. And then a couple minutes later, where should we meet you? Right?
Damn.
And so I said, just to confirm, so I didn't get myself in a sticky situation.
Yep.
This is funny. I said, okay, I'm just going to be open and honest. Is this some sort of proposition? Because I took a NyQuil. I was in a pain flare and needed to go to bed.
Just like imagine Ashley, like the NyQuil is just entering her bloodstream while she's like strapping up.
She's like, you have my full consent to Weekend at Bernie me.
Not the NyQuil. If you want to hang, let us know where to meet you. And I put in all caps, answer the question. Stop bottoming. And then she goes, ha ha ha, okay, then yes. And I said, and she's cool with this? She goes, yes, we're together right now. And I said, can you leave immediately? Because this is going to be very fast and anticlimactic. I said, the NyQuil, my flight, melatonin. So I texted them an address. They came over.
Ooh.
Had you had a threesome before?
Maddie, you know this. I've never had a threesome before.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Gosh.
That's why this is such a big deal.
A little late in life threesome. We love to see it.
Okay, fuck off. Some people never have a threesome.
That's
Wow, to celebrate your retirement, a threesome.
To celebrate getting menopause, I'm going to have a threesome. Straight people don't have threesomes, okay? But some of them
What?
do. Queer people, it's hard. It's like, they're more tame. Every queer person I know has had a fucking threesome except me. So
Wait,
they
but it
came
sounds like you
over.
had one.
Well, the thing is, it took a little bit of time. They were both super bottomy, and if you
Yeah.
know, if you've had sex with me, listener, you know that I'm actually quite soft. I'm still toppy, but I really like intimacy, and I really like getting to know someone and feeling close to them, and like I don't rush into things.
You're so
Sounds exhausting.
So the opposite.
Wow, sounds like such an experience.
So I was like, I've never had a threesome before. I've never topped a threesome before. Like, I don't know how this goes. Like, I'm sort of hoping that they just like kind of femdom it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that I can, and I'm on NyQuil and melatonin.
You've been like,
I'm a sleepy top.
You and I are the same in that way. Like I'm a soft, gentle top. Like sometimes people like message, my grinder says that I'm a top. So sometimes people will message me and they're like, oh, are you going to come and break me in half? Like one guy really, he was like, I can take off work tomorrow if you want to really hurt me. And I was like, oh God.
Oh my God.
No,
Jesus.
Absolutely not.
Well, that was the thing is that I enjoy rough sex, but like I'm not going, oh, this is what I have a bit about. You don't just when you turn the TV on, you don't just set the volume dial to 60. You slowly increase the dial to figure out when to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be for all sex things. For kissing, for touching someone's genitals, for how rough you get into sex, unless you know the partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you know the sound system.
I've had so many men who don't understand that, and they just like they try to kiss you, but it's like they took a running start at your mouth or something. Like they like a trap, like somebody just like fired a gun in the air, and they just like boom. All of a sudden they're like halfway down your throat.
I've had guys finger me like they're opening a Capri Sun pouch, and I'm like, bro, it's open already. You don't have to pop it.
Oh my God. So that's like my sexual philosophy. And so that's like how I was like trying to approach it. And I could tell they were really taken aback because they kept being like, aw. And I think having just seen the show and me screaming at the bird woman, being like, come at me, bitch, I've got security. And then
so
going
funny.
into the threesome and me being like, what do you guys do? How did you meet? So finally, and obviously it's hard to say this, but I was attracted to one more than the other, and I'm not going to say which one, but the one that I was less attracted to eventually went into the bathroom, which made it way easier for me to start with the one that I was attracted to and for her to just like walk out to that. And it was like, and I don't let people go down on me or go down on people on the first time I sleep with them just because of STD stuff and like feeling safe and vulnerable and stuff like that. So like it was quite tame, and it didn't last that long because I was drugged up and all these different things. But like, I did love watching them kiss. I learned that I enjoy that.
Okay.
So hot. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't really matter to me in porn. I don't watch a lot of porn, but like that doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
IRL, very cool.
Damn.
Okay.
Super cool. And there were...
In every threesome, there's a moment of intense self-discovery.
Well, there were some fun configurations. And I think I'll leave it at that because I'll get too embarrassed if I say anything.
You made a chair where I sit on your face.
Yeah, the podcast is called We're Having Gay Sex. And
The coolest one. Well, one of the girls was a little taller than me, so it was funny but also cool.
Uh-huh. Well, you're tall. You're pretty tall.
Yes, she was tall. And so the coolest one is I stood on the floor and fingered this girl. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is
Lay it on us, Ashley.
This is really very embarrassing.
This is a safe space.
I stood on the floor. Alex is here. So that one of them went down on the other, but was near the edge of the bed so that I could finger the girl going down on the other girl from standing facing the bed. Does that make sense?
Sounds like a nice way to spend a Sunday.
Wait, can I ask you a really personal question?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, you don't have to answer. But then are you doing anything to yourself, or are you just...
Sure, I've got another hand.
That's why God gave us 10 fingers.
Honestly, the snuggling was the best part. Snuggling with two people...
We get it.
And they were both women of the plum for sure. So it was just like I was feeling super smushed in like an excellent way.
Okay, wait, actually, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
That does sound nice.
I'm sorry I made fun of you. That's really cool.
Dreams come true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dreams come true when you make them come true.
I did. I've been manifesting this for a long time.
You manifested
And the best part is
what configurations do you put crystals in to manifest?
You have to draw out a 6 and then draw out a 9. And then draw out another 6.
Like you're using a rotary phone.
Yeah, that's my gay sex from this week. But thank you for everyone who made this possible. All of my patrons for elevating me to this point where I could do this.
I'd like to thank God and my parents, everyone who worked on this project.
Listener, I'm not a great cook, and that's why I love Green Chef, because not only am I not a great cook, but I'm queer. That means I'm a vegetarian. Everyone I'm dating is something. They're either vegan or paleo or, pescatarian. And then I'm a busy little queer. I'm on the go all the time. I need something that's going to come to me fast, easy, that's easy to cook, but will still impress. And that's why I love Green Chef. What's Green Chef? Green Chef is a meal kit company, and it's the #1 meal kit for eating well. They make it so easy. They've got plans for every lifestyle, and they offer a range of recipes, so it's always being mixed up for you. There's a lot of variety. You can choose from 30-plus recipes weekly with the option to mix and match meals for different dietary preferences in the same box. It's convenient. It's easy. I can't cook to save my life, but they've always got something with fresh, seasonal, organic produce, like farm fresh ingredients like carrots, bok choy, and olives, whatever seasonal and going on, you can throw that into your dish and you'll look like you planned a really beautiful date for someone when really you just got it from Green Chef. And it's sustainable. They are the only meal kit that offsets both their carbon and their plastic, and they offset 100% of their delivery emissions to your door. I feel good eating it, knowing that they've made sustainable choices. Go to greenchef.com/gay60 and use code gay60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/gay60 and use code gay60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, it's the #1 meal kit for eating well. Listener, if you know me, I've been meditating for 4 years now. And let me ask you a few questions. Do you have anxious thoughts? Are you restless at night? Or do you just not feel like your best self? Making sure we feel our best should be a top priority. And by spending a few minutes with Calm each day, you can be sure you're taking the necessary time to prioritize yourself. Calm is a meditation app with a whole lot more, but meditation is a great place to start. If you're listening to me, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Calm is an app that helps you stress less, sleep more, and live a happier life. Their guided meditations, sleep stories, and relaxing music tracks are all designed to give you the tools to improve the way you feel. Over 100 million people around the world use Calm. And even if you've never meditated before, you'll get the support you need to reduce stress, improve focus, and uplift your mood. I cannot tell you how much I love Calm and how much I love meditation. It is like the backbone of my mental health life. I can't imagine where I'd be without meditation today. So I highly recommend this. If you go to calm.com/gay, you'll get a special offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription, and new content is added every week. So relax. Calm's got everything you need for a happier, healthier you. For listeners of the show, Calm is offering an exclusive offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/gay. Go to calm.com/gay for 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library. That's calm.com/gay.
Kendall, did you have gay sex this week?
Okay, so I have had gay sex this week, but the more fun story was when I was in Austin last week. I was in Austin. I was opening for Rachel Feinstein. I fly in. I get to the Airbnb. Some guys like hit me up on Grindr. Some guy and his boyfriend want me to come over. I have some time before the show, so I do it, and we have fun. It was like it was kind of like nothing that exciting going on. We just had like a quick little threesome. I'm in and out. I don't really like threesomes. Like, I'm not really into it. I would rather just have sex with one person.
And have it be really good.
I have ADHD, so there's just like too much going on all at once.
It's like those like Instagram posts where it's like one video and there's also like gameplay on the other one, so you don't get like distracted. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of my stand-up's going viral on those types of videos right now.
That's so funny.
My stand-up,
hydraulic press videos next to stand-up comedy.
That's exactly what it is. And they're going mega viral and they won't fucking tag me.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But also that's like what a threesome is. I'm like, you're here to be the hydraulic press.
Yeah.
You know, squishing colorful sand into a cup, whatever.
And I'm there to do stand-up comedy.
It is. There's just like too much going on in a threesome or whatever. Like, it doesn't really appeal to me. And like, if it's like somebody and their boyfriend want me to come over, fine. As long as they're like both attractive and I can,
I thought you were going to be thoughtful and be like, as long as they're both into it, they've had a good discussion about it.
As long as
they're both fucking attractive.
Yeah, as long as they're both bangable, I'm in. And so I go over. We have like meh kind of sex. Like, I finish. I'm like, see you later, guys. I go back. I get ready for the show. And then, okay, after the show,
oh my God.
So this is a whole,
as you finish your refractory period or whatever it's
my
called.
refractory period.
Refractory, I don't know that at all.
So I do my show. I get an Uber back to the Airbnb. The Uber driver picks me up in a lifted Ford F-150. And was there a large black German Shepherd in the bed of the truck? Yeah, absolutely. Was it completely unleashed, even though we were going to be on the highway? Yes. And so I'm in the back of this like enormous truck. I like have like a bag of Chinese food with me. I'm just like on my phone, like just trying to figure out what I'm going to watch while I eat my food as soon as I get home. And then I hear like some sort of a kerfuffle up ahead, and I'm not really paying attention. It just sounds like, something happened. The Uber driver is like, should we chase them? I'm like, what happened? What? I was like, there was a hit and run. Should we chase them? I thought he was joking. So
oh my God.
I really did think that he was joking. And so I was like, yeah, let's get him. He was not joking. So what he had seen is
What a fucking hero, dude.
I know. So, well,
I guess if you're just doing Ubers or whatever,
yeah.
but like if you're just driving, it doesn't really do a dent in your day other than picking up more customers.
Yeah.
I know for me, if I'm in an Uber, I'm probably going to a show or a recording.
Yeah.
I then have to weigh someone's life.
I know.
The value of someone's life against recording a podcast episode. You know what I mean? I think if I were the Good Samaritan, I'd just try to get their license plate and an accurate description of the car, maybe even the driver, and leave it at that.
The guy who had done the hit and run did not have a license plate.
Okay.
And so what had happened was some guy with no plates.
How bad was his hit and run? He hit a human?
No, he blew through
God.
2 red lights. And on the second red light, he got T-boned by somebody who was like coming the other, like from a perpendicular. And then the guy who had like gotten hit, but it was his fault because he ran 2 red lights in a row, just tried to like peel out and like get away from the scene of the accident.
Jeez.
So my Uber driver fucking peels out, brights on, follows this guy for like a mile. Literally, like I really thought he was joking, and
Can
then
we pause
all of
for
a
second?
sudden,
What can we surmise about this Uber driver? I think a lot.
I was gonna say undercover cop. You have like a German Shepherd, and you're like chasing after people. I'm like, why are you also driving Uber?
He owns
combat
guns.
veteran.
He owns guns.
He definitely owns guns. I would say he's
gonna come
definitely
up
stepped
soon.
onto his yard and yelled at someone to get off his property.
Uh-huh.
I would go as far as to say maybe racist.
He definitely.
Feels like it could be.
That comes out later.
Like I think that.
Yep.
Oh no.
That's where this is
You know what I
heading.
mean? Like
Yep.
these types of guys that like to play cop.
Yeah.
I think it's a loaded. Like of course.
I thought he was gonna have a Trans Lives Matter bumper sticker.
I know.
But there's something about someone.
So should we chase that guy down and go build a radical community?
No, yeah, he went full like Dwight Schrute volunteer sheriff. And so I'm involved, like I'm holding Chinese food. I'm now involved in like a high speed chase. He eventually does, like the guy's car is like falling apart and fishtailing all over the road and stuff.
Yeah.
So he eventually like pulls into some like side street and then like an apartment complex. This guy who we're chasing gets out of his car, starts approaching us, and he's like screaming like, "What the fuck are you guys doing, man? This don't concern you." And I'm in the back like, he's actually making a really good point. This is none of our business. Yeah. And so it was at that point, the guy's coming out of our car. My Uber driver opens his door, pulls out a pistol.
There it is.
Points it at the guy.
There it is. Totally unnecessary.
Totally. He went
Completely
like,
unnecessary. He just
Yeah.
escalated it.
And
Yeah.
like illegal, I'm pretty sure.
In
You
a
can't be like
big way.
citizen's arrest.
It's Texas.
Yeah, he's trying to like do some
Jesus.
sort of citizen's arrest. He calls 911, by the way, and he throws his phone back to me. So now I'm like talking to like dispatch.
You're
in the back of the
implicated
car.
now. You're
I'm
an
just-
accomplice in
yeah,
murder.
I know. I'm just like, I don't really know what's happening. My Uber driver is chasing somebody.
Is the other driver white?
My driver was white. The guy who was in the other car was black.
oh no.
That definitely had something to do with it.
Yeah, would he have pulled? Like what?
Yeah.
What is that interaction going to be? I'm sure he'd still be angry at the guy he's
Yeah.
chosen to chase him, but like when he sees the guy get out of the car,
He immediately pulls out a gun, points at the
Jesus.
guy, and he's like, "You just committed a fucking crime, man. Get on the ground. Get on the fucking ground." This guy goes back to his badly dented car. I think that he's going to pull out his own gun.
Oh, God.
Twist, he pulls out a terrier.
He also has a dog?
A small little dog. And he just like puts the dog down and tells the dog to like run away. Go.
Oh.
Well, I think he's at his apartment complex. So he's like, the
Obviously,
dog knows where to go.
like obviously, this guy is not the nicest guy to be in a hit and run,
Yeah.
but the circumstance, the idea of chasing someone and pulling a gun on the
I know.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Also, were you
Fully
scared that you were
crazy.
like,
well, I
gonna
was
die or
afraid that like the other guy was gonna have a gun and then they were gonna be like in a shootout.
Yeah.
And also like this guy who we're chasing, he doesn't know
When
that I'm
does
just
this
an
turn
Uber
into sex?
passenger. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It comes back. It comes back around soon. I was afraid that I
dogs
was
fucked
gonna
each
get
other.
like
This is one of the best stories we've ever had
This
on
is
the pod.
insane.
It was wild. So my Uber driver is in like a standoff with this like guy for a while. As I'm like on the phone with the police start to we start to hear sirens getting close. It was at that point that the guy takes off on foot and like jumps a concrete wall and
Damn.
he's just like
Wow.
running into the night. And we're sitting there. as we're waiting for the police to get there, I slowly start to realize that this is the exact same apartment complex I had been at earlier that day. And so there's all this commotion going on outside. Cops are showing up. I eventually see the two guys who I had fucked earlier come out into the parking lot. They're like in their pajamas, all confused, looking around. I'm sitting in the back of this like lifted Ford being interviewed by police. I see them. I'm just like, oh shit, I can't let them see me being like interviewed by the cops outside the scene of like an almost shooting. And they kept asking me the rest of the week, like, are you going to come over again? I was like, hell no, I'm not going back to the scene.
They want to go for round 2?
They want to go for round 2. I'm like, I'm never going to go back to that apartment complex.
You're like, I might never get
ever
hard again.
Well, I was afraid that the guy, if I went back, that the guy who had done the hit and run would like recognize me going in.
And he would think you're there.
And he
to,
would
like,
think that I'm like some accomplice or whatever.
And that you might have a gun.
Yeah,
and
he
God
didn't
knows
know.
what might happen.
Yeah, he might think that I was like hunting him or something.
Yeah.
Because my Uber driver and I were in cahoots or something or whatever.
You give him 1 star?
I didn't. Okay, so it turns out he had multiple loaded weapons in the car.
Jesus.
Including
Again, not
the
a shocker
pistol.
at all.
And Uber is like calling me at a certain point to ask if I'm safe because we went off the route.
Okay, good for Uber.
Good for Uber. I don't really know what to tell them because the guy had told me like he has like a newborn kid and a 3-year-old. And he's like, my wife is going to be pissed when she finds out about this.
This is such like a nuanced sociological like
I know.
scenario.
Yeah, you're
Even
the
though-
overlap
yeah.
of like class struggle, but then
I
also
know.
like
Race
And he was a
and
combat-
law and order
Yeah.
and good Samaritanship. And
He was a combat veteran too, and he
Oh,
like this
Jesus,
dog
so
who I had
that's
gone
it.
up to before getting in, like, you're so sweet, you're so pretty. The German Shepherd. Turns out that dog has killed many people.
Wait, what?
The dog was also
sorry,
a veteran.
That's not funny. That's
Oh, the dog was a veteran.
Yeah, the black
Okay.
German Shepherd from the back of the truck that was riding in the flatbed on the highway was a combat veteran as well.
The dog's like smoking a cigarette. I've
Yeah,
seen
the
it.
dog's
Oh.
like, yeah. So then the Uber driver, after like all this happens, he's just like, it takes like an hour for the police to finish interviewing us. And then, of course, the cops who come, they're like, you should be a police officer, the Uber driver. I'm like,
Jesus.
under no circumstances should this trigger happy idiot be a police officer. Are you kidding me? He almost killed somebody and he's not even on the force.
Yeah, and who knows how many people were endangered from the driving.
I know. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And anyway, at the end of all this, like, I'm like in the back of his car, like trying to hide from those guys who I fucked earlier and stuff. He just like gets back in and he's like, so do you still want to ride home? I was like, yes, I still want to ride home. I don't want to stay here at the scene of an almost shooting where
yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow, what an incredible
it
story.
was. That happened within hours of me landing in Texas. Like it was so on the nose for Texas. Like whatever preconceived notions I had about Texas were thoroughly reinforced by that experience. And Texas is basically an active war zone in my mind. And yeah, after that experience on like the first night, I stayed in my Airbnb for pretty much the rest of that trip. I was like, I'm not going to take any more chances. So listeners, if somebody in Texas asks you if you want to, if they're not joking, they're actually going to chase the guy down, pull a loaded weapon on him.
God
So
damn.
yeah, be
I hope
careful in
everybody's
Texas.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad nobody was like hurt in the end, hopefully.
Yeah, I was when they were interviewing me, of course,
What about the person who got T-boned?
they I think had some minor injuries, but they're fine.
Wow.
Yeah, the cops did tell us that they did have to, like, the other person did go to the hospital for like whiplash.
Are you
or
ready
something
for
like
this to be
that.
used as testimony in a court of law?
I did have to give a long ass statement, and the police were the Uber driver was racist. The police were racist. I felt really bad being involved in the whole
involved
thing.
in the questioning.
Yeah, I mean, they were just like, they were basically,
Not really. I
Yeah.
understand that usually the people in the police
Yeah.
in Texas are racist.
yeah.
I mean, like, what
they
is the
like
questions?
the police literally asked me, they were like, for a description of him, I was like, he was wearing like a white shirt and black pants, and they were like, were you able to see his underwear? And I was like, oh, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. They really asked like things like that. And then of course, like the APB they put out were just like black male running around. Like, I'm sure the police like did
Jesus,
some
that's
awful
so
things that
fucking-
night. I felt really bad being involved
That's
in the
really
whole thing.
sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
That's really, really sad.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up. And it was seeing that up close was awful. But parts
thanks
of the
for-
story are funny.
I was about to be like, well, thanks for doing this gay sex podcast. Thankfully, we
know.
don't have to solve that problem
Yeah.
right now. But thank you for sharing that. That was an awesome story and a thoughtful one.
It was a wild night. And I did I bravely, like a surfer attacked by a shark, got right back out there on the waves and continued fucking.
Or
for
like
the
a
rest of the
server,
trip.
like a server that I'm trying to have sex with at a comedy club.
Yes.
Well, thank you. That's great gay sex.
Listener, if you like this pod, you probably like learning about sex. You know I do. And that's why I love Beducated. Beducated is the #1 resource for sexual health and happiness. Level up your love life by accessing online courses from the world's top experts. It's kind of like the sex ed you wish you had, with video courses and expert advice from anywhere in the world, including your bedroom. There's all kinds of programs and there's all kinds of courses. I know I wanted to learn a little more, because I'm quite vanilla. I wanted to learn a little bit more about BDSM and kink. They've got something for that. They've even got more relationship-oriented stuff like relationships and communication and sexual healing. I'm always looking to learn more about my own body and getting intimate with my partner, and that's why I absolutely love Beducated. They've got something for me. They've got something for her. Everybody is happy and everybody's learning. And right now, with my code, just for you guys, you can get 40% off the yearly pass with my coupon code GAY. I'm going to say it one more time, just in case you missed it. 40% off the yearly pass. Get it right now, listener, with my coupon code GAY. So head on over to this link, beducate.me/BG2306-gay. That's beducate.me/BG2306-gay and use coupon code GAY for that incredible 40% off the yearly pass. Go get your access to those 100 plus online courses from the world's top experts. Go check it out, listener.
Let's do your sharing corner because you didn't have sex this week, right?
I didn't have sex this week.
Maddie's a virgin.
I'm a gay. Okay,
Maddie's a virgin.
Suck dick like a fucking champ, dude.
Okay.
Don't you
Yes.
dare.
All right, but it's time for Maddie's sharing
But I haven't been
corner.
woman. Okay, so on the she they, the they is there. We've like codified that. And then the other day, this is very small, but I was in a full Lululemon outfit reading The Body Keeps the Score, and I was like, I am also a woman. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's there
Great
also.
book, Body Keeps Score. Yeah.
It's devastating. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think the gender update would be, I feel like I'm gender fluid between being a woman and being non-binary, and both those parts are in there. I don't know. At a certain point, it's like, yeah, I don't know. We get it. It's something in the, yeah. My dad said something really funny. Okay, this might be my sharing corner story
Yeah.
if we want to keep it short. My dad.
Oh no, we've got where are we at? Like 55? An hour? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's just a short joke my dad made, and I want to preface this by saying I know it is problematic to me, but I'm the person in it, so it's fine. If anybody else said this, I would be like, I'm not condoning that this is funny, but my dad and I have a relationship where he's like very roasty and we're roasty back and forth. And to me, it was like a nod of like acceptance in a very sweet way.
Of course. And in the same way that me and Bird Lady could have had a beautiful friendship if she had absorbed it as as a compliment, really, because I'm just trying to let Bird Lady know that I understand.
Yeah. And my dad said this in a tone that was very like, we're having fun.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh so fucking hard because we had a really
He
deep...
called you the F slur. We're having fun.
Funnier than that, actually.
Really?
Well, because my dad always, when we're talking, he'll be like, oh yeah, my kid's doing so-and-so. And I was like, hey, I don't know if you do that on purpose because I told you that I'm like non-binary, but like
instead of daughter.
yeah, but I was like, it really means a lot to me that you like say that. And he was like, oh, it wasn't even on purpose, but like now that I know that, like I'll make sure that that's what I call you, is like
sweet.
my kid. And I was like, that's so sweet. And we had like a long conversation about like being non-binary and like, you know, what that meant to me. And him kind of, he was like, I don't get it, but I support you. And like had a long conversation about like how it feels. And at the end, so I was like, yeah, so like I'll use like she, her, or they, them pronouns. And like when you say kid instead of daughter, like that really makes me feel good. And he's like, no, I'll absolutely do that. Cause you know, I know if you don't do what women say, they get really upset.
That's so good.
That's funny. He's funny.
No, but that's the reason that works is because that's very clearly a joke that indicates you're not a woman. That's
Yeah.
why that joke works.
Yeah.
It's not like he's genuinely calling you a woman out of like meanness.
No, it was very,
It's
and
like-
it's predicated on him being like, no, totally, I will do this.
Yeah.
And there's a funniness too of like, I know that my dad is like born in the 60s and he's like, full disclosure, I don't fully get it, but I get
Yeah.
that I love you and that this means something to you and I will like, I am like down with it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it made me laugh so hard. But then it also feels like someone has to be really comfortable enough with something to make, in a relationship, if someone says that online, that's obviously like transphobic and fucked up. But like, it also is like a signifier that he's comfortable with it. The fact that he is joking about
Yes.
it
Yeah.
with me.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying.
So that actually meant more than if he was very stiffly
That's-
like, well, yeah, whatever you say, you know, it's
Yeah,
that's I think
yeah.
he's in it.
I also think just because I'm doing stand-up comedy for some crowds that really I've noticed with young people, and I sound old saying that, but I've noticed there's like at my shows there's a lot of pressure to get it right and not laugh at the wrong thing. Like a roast joke is funny because it signifies that the person is comfortable enough with the community in question that they
Yeah.
understand what they're saying in such a nuanced way that they're subverting it on purpose. You can't have that without the other, like, lately I've been doing these jokes. I have a large, like, neurodivergent and autistic, like, fan base at my shows. And it's actually, like, pretty fucking
Yeah.
incredible to, like, be learning this culture and community, like, live in
That's
the moment
really cool.
at the shows.
Yeah.
And, like, through the podcast and stuff like that. But I've noticed it's never the neurodivergent people who pull back on those jokes.
Yeah.
It's always people are like, oh, holy shit, is she allowed to say that?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But people who are like, well, no, I'm fine with her saying that, so I know that I have permission to laugh
Yeah.
because I think it's funny and I'm of that
Yeah.
community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If
Like,
you're
it's-
not, sorry.
Oh, no. It's like, it's never, when I say on stage, it's never gay people who are offended or pull back on that. It's straight people who aren't
Exactly.
sure whether or not they're allowed to
It's
laugh.
okay.
And it's like, if I'm saying it, I want you to laugh. I'm giving you permission just by me saying it.
Totally. And I
Yeah.
think when we often are like, oh, well, only if it's your group. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of fucked up because it
Yeah.
sort of means then that a white comedian can't do anti-racist material. Do you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Or like I think, like, for me, I know when straight comedians do good gay jokes,
Yes.
that's like my favorite thing in the world because
Yeah.
they're talking to their community about, and that's your dad in this case, a cis guy, like roasting you, trans. So, like, you know that you're trans.
Yeah.
Trans. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's like
Yeah.
really important because it's the cis men that are going to pick up and be like, oh, like this trans person is okay with these roast jokes and like I can learn to be okay with their identity and we
Yeah.
can coexist peacefully and like you know what I'm saying?
And there's something about it being said in a language that people not in the community understand. You know what I mean? Like if they hear a straight guy do a joke that is very pro-trans, like unfortunately, for better or worse, that might be the thing that gets them to like
Yes.
see trans people as
Or, like,
people.
when
And if that's the hook they need to then have deeper conversations, like I think that's a positive
I agree.
thing.
I agree. I won't say his name, but there was a comedian recently who had a trans woman on his podcast. This comedian had done a lot of like trans material that I really did not like and was like, but he had this trans woman on his podcast and his main takeaway was basically after interviewing her was basically a huge, massive podcast.
Yeah.
Massive. He was like, wow, like you're really a woman, which is like, yes, duh, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But for his audience,
Yeah.
huge for
Yeah.
him to
Yeah.
be able to have that very basic realization because a lot of people
Yeah.
aren't having those really basic realizations. I guess what I'm just saying is like humor can be used to connect people, and when you're listening to humor like this, really try and contextualize what's happening. The comedian is going to let you know their point of view before they get to the joke.
Yeah.
And then from that point of view, in that context, that's when you're like, okay, what are they actually trying to say? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or I honestly, like, I think going in with good faith and then leaving and evaluating after the show is my preferred method with a comedian.
Yeah.
Go in with good faith.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a comedian whose work you know and they're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. I think it's just like when you approach like
Or
these
even
kind of topics.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No, go finish.
Just while I have the thought in my brain. Giving good faith to the people that it doesn't always work, but like have good faith for the people who are trying. They might not always get the words right, the pronouns right, but if they're trying the way your dad is trying, give good faith to that joke because the coming out process is going to go smoother for you if you're willing to understand that they're not going to be perfect, but if they're coming in good faith, you're not going to be as stressed doing that emotional labor.
I also understand like people's tolerance for that being different and people's like relationship being different, but like the relationship that my dad and I have is like that was the best thing he could have said and it made me laugh so fucking hard.
Yeah,
so it's like
because of the context.
Yeah, the context is like everything.
Yeah.
But he did say, he was like, are you going to say that on the podcast? And I was like, yeah, dude. He was like, could you use this? Like, that was funny. That was really good.
But I interrupted you.
Oh, no, I was just going to agree with you guys. I mean, it's so much easier to have these conversations when you approach them in like a lighthearted way because it's so much easier to get people to listen when there's not this like heaviness over the whole
that you've already
conversation.
Assumed how dumb, because they have to do the work. I'm not saying that gay people have to do this work. It's straight people that need to do this. But we're not going to make it easier for those straight people coming in, making them feel stupid, making them feel like they've done something wrong, like they're going to get canceled, yada, yada, yada. Yes, it is a more emotional labor for us. But like, I always say this with coming out, like your family is going to go through an adjustment period, but they are going to come around. And it's going to make it easier for you if you can accept that it's not going to be perfect and you can keep it light.
And to what you said too about keeping it light and the humor and stuff too, like I think, and I get that this comes with a massive, massive amount of privilege to say this, but coming out like can also be fun sometimes. And I hope that doesn't sound insensitive to the fact that it can be really, really hard, but it like also can be like a celebration of like for me, I was like, oh, this is like a puzzle piece clicking that like everything else in who I am works better now. So like if there are moments when it can be fun and lighthearted, like that's also like one of the coolest things in the world. It's like a new birthday.
Yeah. All of this to say is like, we already know about the negatives. We talk about them all the time.
Yeah, I really don't mean to like push that under the rug or anything.
Yeah. We're not trying to dismiss them and say they don't happen, but we're saying like,
or to be like, just have fun with it. Like, I'm not that stupid to like, I know.
I think we've done enough disclaimers. I think
I know. It's like
people get it,
every
right?
one of these conversations has to have like fine print that's read out loud at the beginning of it
true.
now.
It's very frustrating.
What you said made me think of a
context.
good Amy Poehler quote though that I think about a lot. I think she just said, if you can, gay icon, if you can disagree with somebody without making them feel stupid, they might actually listen to you.
No, that's a great
I think about
quote.
that a lot.
That's a really great quote.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like ultimately a big piece of what I want my comedy to be. And I think you as well.
Yeah.
And you as well.
I mean, yeah, that's the goal is like totally because if you can, the end goal of a conversation across ideologies or whatever shouldn't be to win. It should be to get them to listen and possibly see your point of view and hopefully come to your side.
Internalize it.
And somebody's not going to listen to you if they feel like they're not being heard. They're going to start tuning you out too. But I come from like a conservative family and I can tell people like
that's why you were afraid of your cousins.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I just like, I wasn't sure how they were going to react. And I also just like don't like to, after a show, I'm usually tired. I don't want to have some long, weird conversation with my cousins or whatever. Luckily, they were cool. But generally, like when you're trying to change somebody's mind, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a lot of small conversations slowly over time. And if you alienate the person or if you bash their head, bash them or whatever, they're just not going to listen to you anymore. Like you have to, like if you can approach it with just like a little bit of levity and without making the other person feel stupid, then you're going to have a much better chance at changing their mind over time.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to write you off as somebody who it's unsafe to get feedback from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was also going to say that I think, oh shit, what was I just about to say about, I think having queer friends too, which I really didn't have a super big queer community until recently, and it's like because I think also like my parents are so supportive and love me and are like down with it, but they don't get the nuances of it the way that like my other non-binary or queer friends do.
Yeah.
And so I think you can feel a little lonely if you come out to them and they don't see you the way that you see yourself or are able to fully reflect that back.
Yeah.
But if they can just go, I love you, whatever you need, and then you can get the real kind of validation and understanding from queer friends. You know what I mean? Because sometimes your parents might just never be able to
And
understand it the way that you do,
Yeah.
if that
if
makes
you're
sense.
feeling alone, find an LGBTQ center in your area or at your school. A local university probably has clubs. Even if you don't go to that university, I would venture to say that they'd be fine with you showing up at those events if you need queer community. And then also we have a Discord where we have over 6,000 queer people and allies in there supporting one another. And while I think IRL is more important, this is a place where you can start that. And we have a map to show you. You opt in, obviously, but you can see if there are queer people in your area and you can arrange little meetups. Meetup.com is a great resource. They have a ton of queer groups. There are a ton of queer sports leagues. You know what I mean? There's book clubs.
My friend Suze, who lives in Vermont, is a lesbian, and she tells other lesbians that she goes and tries to pick up women at the pet food warehouse. She says that's where you can find all the hottest lesbians. Go down to any sort of humane society.
ASPCA,
you will
PETA.
find like-minded lesbians.
I think that's
there.
a good note to end on. Where are we at? That was a lovely conversation.
Hour 16.
Okay, well, we'll figure out what we're gonna cut. What are you working on?
Like joke
Butt
wise
plugs.
or
A fist to the future.
joke wise or just like comedy wise?
I mean, if you want to do a bit,
business.
you can do a bit. I just meant, where can people find you? And
they can find me on Instagram mostly. That's where I do my best work, I would say. I gotta start posting more clips.
what's your handle?
At Kendall Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendall's great. You can see him on the road with me in Florida.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun. If you guys don't subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on notifications, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And you should already be on the text list. Maybe I can't threaten people on the internet. Guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications because on April 23rd, the special is gonna drop. So
I've actually working on the hour. It is fantastic.
Thank you so
not to be
much.
missed. Like it's just crushed all the way through.
thank you.
So,
I really appreciate it.
If you're not subscribing with notifications on, you're missing out.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
unreal.
I'm nervous for you to see it because you haven't seen it closer too. You saw like a really weird performance.
Yeah,
of
I'm
it.
excited. I'm so excited.
But yeah. What do you?
Yeah, Instagram at Maddie2Wiener. That's kind of my big one too. I'm doing a taping soon. I'm gonna have like clips from that on Instagram and YouTube. So my YouTube channel, my Instagram, those are the places to find me. Link trees in my bio. I have
Maddie-
a little zine that I do on Substack.
Maddie to
also.
20K. Where are we at with that?
17 point something, which is crazy.
Woo!
Crazy.
Let's see here.
Fuck shit up, Maddie.
Thanks for listening, guys. Patreon.com/WHGS to support the pod. I'm just going to say to go over and subscribe to my YouTube and turn on notifications. Turn on notifications specifically for the live premiere party for my special. That's all I want to plug. It would mean the world to me if you watch live because that really helps something go viral. And there really hasn't been a woman in comedy to have a truly viral comedy special. There have been women who come close, but it's been a slog and very hard work for them. And I'm glad they paved the way for me, but I also would really like this to go bananas. Not just for me, but for women in comedy and queer people in comedy. So head on over there to my YouTube. Just search YouTube, Ashley Gavin, and I'll come right up. And yeah, that's my gay thought for today. Help me. Help me. Listener, this episode is brought to you by Beducated. I love Beducated. It's the #1 resource for sexual health and happiness. It's kind of like the sex ed you wish you had. You can watch video courses and get expert advice from anywhere, including your bedroom. I'm always willing to learn more about my partner and myself, and that's why I love the courses on Beducated. They really help spice up my sex life. And right now, with my code, just for you guys, you can get 40% off the yearly pass with my coupon code GAY. That's coupon code GAY, or go to beducate.me/BG2306-gay. That's beducate.me/BG2306-gay.